This is not a proverbial rugby league drill. Fletcher Baker is starting a game of National Rugby League first grade football in the year of 2026. Wow. Never did I think we would see a time where that was going to be how I opened up a stream. Fletcher Baker, noted Sydney Roosters legend, no less. He spent time at the Broncos. He spent time at the Bulldogs. Bruv, I didn't even know he signed for Manly. And yet here he is. I absolutely love that. Hello, everybody. How are you going? I am on a proverbial rugby league cloud nine, and really just have been since yesterday. I'll give you an insight into basically how I spent my time since that game ended. Started with running around my room, then a little bit of screaming, then I wept. I didn't actually weep, but, you know, it's nice for the sort of narrative if I did. Then made a little short, then went on a live stream that I was on Hainsey's channel, and I was not prepared whatsoever to do that, but you know what? Why not? Let's just make that work. Did that, then spent the entire evening just editing, just making content. It was great. And then woke up, applied to a million jobs, went to the shops, and now I'm here. Very, very deeply exciting times. But this is certainly going to be the highlight of the day, because I often say, like, you know, sometimes I have days where I'm not necessarily looking forward to streaming. Today, on this day of days where we get to potentially see South Sydney lose a game, we get to potentially see, probably see, realistically, the Sea Eagles lose a game, and they were my spoon tip, so I kind of like the idea of them losing. But then also just, you know, basking in the absolute glory of seeing the NRL ladder at the moment. Why not? Why not love it? Wrong title? Really? Actually, I typed in the new title and then forgot to press confirm. So it does now say Sea Eagles versus Dolphins. Thank you for letting me know. No Rabbitohs got to win. I certainly hope that they don't. I certainly hope they don't. Dalek says, hey, Leaguie, gonna miss your face during the off-season doing World Cup 26 calls? Yes. I'm going to mute myself throughout this ceremony. Please enjoy. Happy days. Well, it feels like, is this sort of the third week that we've had, like, Indigenous round stuff? Because I know there are a number of teams who, I think pretty much actually every team has wanted to do an Indigenous ceremony at a home game for them. So I think that's sort of why. Makes sense. In terms of score predictions, it's a very good question. I'm definitely tipping the Finns. I think they've got so much to play for. When you look at the way that, say, Cronulla stumbled last week against the Dragons, top four is still a realistic possibility for Les Dolphins. That's how they say it in France, by the way. So they're level points right now with Cronulla. Thing is, on the other side of the park, Manly-Warringah, it's all on the line. I just don't think they have the quality to do it. 98-0, I'm not quite going there. Not quite going to go there, but 36-14, I don't mind the idea of. I think that sounds about right. I'll side with Lockie on this one. Lockie 60, knower of ball. Oh, what, they're showing the live ladder, but they're not showing the important part of the live ladder. The part that people should care about. The part that has Eastern Suburbs District Rugby League Football Club up in first place. Okay, we're about to have kickoff. I'll let you know when the kickoff on my screen so you can sync up with me. Yo, Leaguie, I was wondering if you could get me the code to get into the synthetic ANU field. I didn't even have that. I might be able to scan my student card and get in. I honestly don't know, but no, I don't think I can. I've certainly never tried to. Nice jersey for Manly. I will say, in the sheds, I thought, oh, is that the Finns? Because it's like, kind of, it's orange, which is a mix of red and gold, which is the colors that the Dolphins have. But anyway. Mathematically, Roosters and Panthers could still finish 5th or 4th. Yeah, there's a fair rugby league bit to play for. 100% there is. Don't think that's going to happen, though, but, it's not impossible. Dolphins, knowing they have the Roosters to play in a couple weeks' time as well, this is a very, very important one for them to win. It's that end of the season, and we have kickoff, ladies and gentlemen. Manly and the playing against one another. Sub with a good catch. Leagie getting us underway. By the way, I want to ask you guys this. I've sort of somewhat made my mind up on this anyway, but for the next game, which is Canterbury Bankstown versus South Sydney, do we reckon that I wear my blue suit, a white shirt, make the background color blue, and just go full doggy supporter? Just because it's a South's hate watch is what it is, obviously. I think that would be funny. Wolfball will prevail here. Agreed. Agreed. What's your top 4 at the end of the season? I'm not that confident we're going to win the minor premiership. Still got to play Dolphins. As Manly kicked from just inside the 40 on the last. And I think that if we've got top 2 wrapped up in the final round, we will rest players against South Sydney. My fan is broken. Kind of need it. I'm coming to you live from the stuffiest room in the Australian National University right now. It is boiling. Anyway. Do it then if you want it. Yeah, I think I will. How you going? Did Leaguie sway? Good to see you. Marshall King had a dummy half. Solid run there from the hooker. Up to the halfway line here already on the 4th. Run up there to the attacking 40 through Tommy Gilbert, who's come off the bench to start in today's game. Goes to Kartora on the last. He's under pressure from Fogarty. Does well to get a good kick away. Down to find Hopawati. And passes back to Clayton Falala. We saw him have a really good patch of form, Clayton, earlier in this season. That is a change that they have made this week. No more Hopawati at fullback. They've gone Falalo. Yes, do the doggies thing. And Watson says, no, that feels gross. Please don't. I mean, it's for the hate watching. It's not because I like the Bulldogs, really. It's because, would be kind of funny. I don't know. Honestly, I might not be bothered. So, Gerbo with a run there. Solid, holding the ball up to the 40-meter line. It is actually so warm in this room. I need this fan to be working, and I'm not going to lie, it's not clutching up for me right now. It is well and truly not clutching up for me. All right. Dolphins with it again. The touchy is well and truly in field there. That was weird. Sea Eagles 24-28 Dolphins. That's a bold prediction. I don't mind it, though. Yes, I managed to jumpstart the fan. That's actually... Oh, that's so much nicer. Okay. Yeah, that's properly game-changing. Change background color band. Oh, right. Sorry. It's turned off when I'm watching the Roosters, so... I'll turn it back on. And yeah, Jet Lawrence, sorry, your comment got blocked because you said, like, show the game or stream the game or something. Yeah, I can't show the game because of copyright reasons. Don't really like the Manly top, says Lockie. It doesn't look very manly, that I will say. Hey, Leaguie, someone just redeemed a thing. Oh, there we go.
Catanellerberg just redeemed, changed the background color. Blauer Ag to Grand.
That means blue background. Blue background it is. Despite neither of these teams being blue. I could kind of see it almost as being like an Anzac jersey. Like, obviously, when you look closely, you can see the indigenous designs. But it has like that sort of dawn horizon look that they tend to go with Anzac jerseys. So, I don't know. When will you do a chair stream? Good question. Possibly during a finals game, if I'm at the finals game. It's just difficult what with... Actually, well, no, I don't know if I could because this chair will be in Canberra. And there ain't gonna be no finals games here in Canberra. So, oopsie doopsie. Dean, all due respect, after last night, if I had the choice between dancing with DCE or you, I'm dancing with Daly Cherry Evans. Kick on the last from Manly-Warringah. Saab went up for it. I think he's knocked it on. Then the hammer does recover the ball there. No, it's going to be a result here for Manly. Okay, the ruling is knock on against Hamiso Tapawai Fido Manly. We'll get a fresh set here. Early win there for the Sea Eagles. That's a very, very tough one to call. The poll's spazzing out? Is it? I don't think that's a word that I can say, by the way. I just read it out without thinking. Because of the etymology of it. The poll... Oh yeah, it's got no votes. What the hell? That's very strange. Yeah, I can just see it up as normal, but it's got 0 votes. All right, Wakeham. Now to find Jamal Fogarty up through Hamole Olakawatu. And it's a one-on-one strip. It has been knocked on, though, by Herbie, so this should be 6 more. I will end the poll and put up a new poll. I don't know why it was not working. But anyway. Oh, apparently 83% of people voted Dolphins. A nice little dummy there for Joey Walsh. Does get a pass away. I think it's been knocked on by Manly. Currently, it has been grounded in the in goal, but yeah, it's going to be ruled a forward pass regardless, so. Leaguie and Leaguie Senior both dropping ableist words on stream within 24 hours. Yes, true. I think mine was slightly less bad, but yes, true. Why is it still an Indigenous round? It's not. But there are multiple teams who didn't have home games during Indigenous round and wanted to do an Indigenous thing for their home game, and you can sort of understand why. I can definitely see, not that I agree with them, but definitely see a portion of NRL fans who would be like, oh, it's taken over the bloody competition for 3 weeks, mate. Mate! But yeah, not exactly the crowd that I care about appeasing anyway. 6 more there for the Dolphins. On a boat, but still got to get my footy in. Where are you on a boat? Which part of God's green earth, or the blue earth, I suppose for you? It's actually mostly blue earth. Why do we say God's green earth? That's weird. Where are you? Is the question. So, and I'm not just talking like vibes and general area. I want specific longitude and latitude from you right now, so. Rose Bay, okay. Well, it's not longitude and latitude, but it's something. I'll take it. Bostock with a hit up to the 40. Has Isako at dummy half there. So it's going to be Isaiah Katoa putting it up on the last. I love it at Manly. You can never see the ball once it actually does go really high because of the chain tri-stand. The one is going to be knock on Dolphins here. I think the nicest Indigenous jersey that's on the ground is the NRL referees. We're going to put in a challenge here, the Dolphins. Bold. It's actually very, very bold this early in the game off a simple knock-on. I don't know. Smart Guy says, hello, opinion on the new score update spot in your Discord server. How new are we talking? There was one that I saw like a month ago. Is it that? If so, if it's one made by Mike Alexi, I like it. Leaguie, what's your favorite pizza? Probably something meat lovers style. But it's hard to go wrong. So it's definitely touched the hammer. The ruling, the issue is, has it gone forward or backwards? Parallax angle on that big wide shot you really can't see. But anyway. Leaguie already coming out of ref glazing retirement. Like, ref jersey glazing. It's an unsuccessful challenge. That is a really weird one to have burnt so early on in this game. I really don't see the need, but anyway. The hammer is Samoa and Australia because he used to play for the Kangaroos. Yeah, he's eligible for both. He's Indigenous, yeah? I'm 90% sure he's an Indigenous Australian, but also has Samoan heritage as well. I expect that he'll play for Samoa at the end of the season. Last season, he was touring with the Samoan team, but didn't play with them due to injury. Oh, okay, cool, smart guy. I will check it out. Sorry, I haven't seen it. Thank you for your service. Much appreciated. Hello, Brianna. How are you going? Hammer is a Torres Strait Islander. Yes. True. Yes, that rings a bell now. That rings a bell. Thoughts on the Roosters being above for the women's and men's ladders? Yes. It's actually really funny. So there's a team called the LA Roosters in the American competition. As Cobber comes up with a good catch there. They put up a post because they're top of their league. And it was the Sydney Roosters man and the LA Roosters saying, you know, we're both top of the league. Roosters on top, obviously. And I commented saying, and the NRLW as well. And they deleted their post and then made a new post, including the NRLW, which I thought was cool. So, yeah. What would be your Australian national team if you picked the team list? That's a great question. And I will answer it. Fullback, I'd go... oh, hang on. It's going to be a Manly penalty here. Give it away in possession. Fullback, I would go Cody Ramsey. I think he deserves it. On the wings, give me Jai Gray on one side. And a solid... Let me think on the other. Who are we going to go on the other? Give me James Schiller. Been a while since I've seen James Schiller play. In the setters, Hugo Savala, I think deserves it, and Billy Smith, obviously. The halves, Carl Flanagan will be one. The other... For the other, give me Tom Duffy. Give me Tom Duffy, I reckon. Front rowers, Fletcher Baker. Speaking of, he actually just played it there. Fletcher Baker and Jake Chaboy, which I think will do well there. Hooker, I'll take a very solid... is Gordon Chen-Compton eligible? I don't think so. Anyway. Give me Peter Mamazelos. So on and so forth, really. You understand the vibe. Javon Andrews, halfback. Yeah, actually, if he's eligible, I'll do that. Beryl Hooker for sure, actually. No, Beryl would be Hooker. I forgot about Beryl. Dream, I do not show the game live, but I do live stream, obviously. They're going to kick it through on the last. There was a call of a 6 more, and I think it's going to be a Amanda penalty because they didn't know. Yes, it will be, because they didn't know that they had a 6 again. So they did kick it through. We've got Pretenders versus Pretenders this game. What a bore this is going to be. I disagree. If your standard is that... I compared to yesterday, sure. If your standard is that it has to be contenders playing, all right. But Dolphins have top 4 to play for. Manly have their season to play for. The stakes are very, very high. Very high. You had me in the first half of that comment, Spark. I was like, you're not really promoting something like that in the chat, but no, of course. Hello, SC Skipper. Good to see you. Hope you're enjoying this game. So far, been quite the arm wrestle. Walsh with a pass there to find Waddell, who will be forced to ground. This is only the second. They are within 10, of course, having got that penalty. Wakeham. Back to find Jake Chaboyevich. Now in the hands of Jamal Fogarty. Skips across field. Does a nice little unders ball to drop Ruben Garrick back towards the post. Thought I heard a call of 6 again there. Oh, Lyafi crash play. He was close. He was very close. That was absolutely on. Better than I enjoyed last night's game. Great game, though. It was finals come early, and I think we will be seeing you in the grand final if we make it. Are we going to have the same situation? We are. They kicked on the last after getting a 6 again. Exact same as before. There's a bit of a warning, I think, coming. Yeah, that's a warning. Yeah, no, it was an absolutely brilliant game of football. I am very much looking forward to if we, meet in the finals. Yo being back, Tedesco, Tupou, Crichton being back. I think McLean being back. It'll be a brilliant game. Can we get a score prediction? Someone said Dolphins 36, Manly 14 pre-game, and I was like, yeah, sure, I'll go with that. I don't know if we'll get quite that many points with the way that this game has started, but that was what I went with early. Jet, I'm honestly not sure the last time Manly were in the top 4. I would assume that it would be maybe earlier this season when Fosball had its real run, and they're going to pass over the touchline there. Unless it's being touched by a Dolphin. What's the ruling going to be? I don't know if it did touch a Dolphin. Okay, the ruling sword pass. Yeah, unfortunately, I can't go and look specifically. I've got to focus on the commentary. McLean back next week. Yo round 27 to week 1. Garner due back soon. Kenny round 27. I forgot about Kenny as well. That's true, actually. That's a very good point. So, both teams, under strength. But But we'll see. We'll see come finals time. It was a great game, certainly, for us to win, but I think it will be a different situation in the finals. Dean, I have eaten enough, yes. Certainly enough. So Dolphins coming out of their own end. They've survived a early defensive test. Quite a number of sets there, back to back to back. So they'll have a bit of confidence coming out of that. When's the jacket coming back? When I go up to Sydney to watch Roosters and Dolphins. So it's not for another week and a half. It's going to be quite a while. Isako, potentially a bit of space. Sideline was there, and the ruling is that he went into touch. And they don't have a challenge, so they can't dispute that decision. Hasbet says, "God, this game effing sucks." Okay, so you have been sold a incredibly high standard of rugby league yesterday, basically, I think is the situation there. Two best games in 2026 have both been understrength games, Waz Panthers and last night. I didn't, unfortunately, watch Waz versus Panthers because I was on my way to Roosters and Bulldogs. But last night certainly was up there. Certainly was up there. Due to renovations at North Ipswich Reserve, the Senior Rugby League Ipswich Grand Final Day will be at Hayes Oval, home of the Fassifin Bombers. It's not a call I expected given the ground quality. Well, you must be happy about that as a Fassifin Bombers enthusiast. Jimmy's supporting his Sea Eagles, saying let's end the losing streak. We'll see if you can. I'm not overly confident in Manly, but good signs early. I've got to say, I think they have been the side more on top. Yeah, please, that's definitely a form of spamming some on top. Please don't do that. Halftime prediction, Sea Eagles 12, Dolphins 12. I don't mind that prediction at all. I think that the way this game's playing out, it could well be that, actually. Fogarty. To find Joey Walsh, there's nothing really doing on that short side, and the ball just goes straight over the touchline, but they're going to say it's being touched. There's a call of it being touched by the touch judge. Yeah, it's going to be Manly ball. Again, they are getting the rub of the rugby league green early on here. Who touched it? Was it touched? They were confident. I certainly didn't see it, but anyway. So here we go. This is where I think Manly should be expecting points. They've certainly had enough opportunity to come up with a try. They'll get a bit frustrated, I think, if they can't get one here. Jake Trbojevic back to find Fogarty. Balalo does get tackled, trying to get away. Still standing, eventually put to ground by Jeremy Marshall King. Hello, Pandemically. My day's been outstandingly good. I've had a very, very good time. Hasman, I have no idea, but I will time someone out if you want me to, because I remember that from yesterday. Ball finds the ground. Kola can't pick it up. Once again, Isako allows his Dolphins to survive that defensive test. That is... It's disappointing for Manly. I don't think that they will have opportunities like that throughout the duration of this game. I think it's probably this early period, and we're probably going to be looking back at it, wondering how that happened.
Just redeemed changed the background color. Blue, yellow, Bosnia and Herzegovina are Bosnia-Herzegovina emoji. Bosnia-Herzegovina emoji.
Okie dokie. Thank you for only doing 2 Bosnia and Herzegovina emojis. That's appreciated. Yeah, we'll look back on it wondering how they didn't come up with points, I think, in this early part of the game. So, absolutely, they deserve to host it. I was expecting it to go to Brothers Home Field because they have all the money. They've also used the Briggs Road Soccer Complex before when the Jets field was unavailable. I don't know any of those places, but I will trust you that they exist. Fine by me. Every time these two have met at Brookie, Manly have put 58 points on the Finns. Well, there we go. Unlikely to happen today. Will admit. Wouldn't be my tip. Lily says, you know what would be so funny? Warriors beating Brisbane Broncos by at least 47 points to be the second team to overtake Penrith this week. It'd be good for us. It'd be good for us. Because it would make it less likely, certainly, I think, that we play Warriors in a home final. Wouldn't? No, maybe not. Well, I guess we want Broncos to beat Warriors. That would make it less obvious. Less likely that we play Warriors in a home final. Anyway. SC Skipper says, will you be at Finn's Chook's game with SC Playbook event? Or, I certainly have not been invited to. I am going to go to that game. Is it? Are you going to be there? How do I get involved? I mean, I know Timmy, so I'm assuming. Maybe I can just send him a message. Jack says, I've just come in. I think out of fairness, Hasman gets his timeout that he didn't get yesterday. Yes, that's fair. Given that he was trying to time you out, I will time you out. That's very bold of you. That's very bold of you. And I'm glad that you were willing to make your sacrifice there. You have now been timed out. All right, Nikodima, to put it up on the last, he must be really just thinking, wow, this is my last opportunity to do anything meaningful in my career as I'm going to the Dragons next year. Falolo returning the ball here. Still going. Nice stepping from Clayton. Holding it in the tackle by Jack Bostock. He says, hey, my uncle played for the Roosters and he's going to get the Super Cool badges that are only given to Roosters legends and he's getting 2 to give to my brother and I. That's very nice. I like that the club does stuff like that, acknowledging its history. 6-4 here again for Manly. Feels like it's, there's been a few going their way. But not necessarily undeserved. That was potentially high contact there. But they get away with it there, the Dolphins. There was, I think, mitigating circumstances in fairness. Who even was that? Then number 15. Am I tripping? Nicholas Lanaz. Okay, I'm not surprised I don't recognize Nicholas Lanaz automatically. That's not completely my fault. The Broncos are getting better, although it was 1 to 12 points from Dolphins, but I'll let Warriors... I will let Warriors to slide with 1 to 12 points. You mean you'll tip Warriors 1 to 12? I think that would be a decent tip. They go the short side there on the last, Manly, and really don't come up with too much. We'll say, opening 20 minutes, I can understand now a little bit more why Hasman finds this game boring. Just because, obviously, we haven't had any points, but it's been Manly well and truly on the attack with the best of field position and possession, and they just haven't done anything with it. They've been getting about their business in a fundamentally average manner. So, kind of depends how you view it. Like, okay, you could say Dolphins have been made to do a lot of defending, so they should be maybe more tired towards the back end of this half. Or it could be the other way, where Manly are frustrated that they haven't come away with anything. And like we saw yesterday, with the Roosters having to defend so much in that early period, it could be a case of the Dolphins going down the other end of the field and coming up with points quickly. Watson says, I'm finally home. I have Lux on my new glasses so I can see again. That sounds blissful. That sounds like absolute heaven. I'm very happy for you. How would you react if Waz won by enough and overtook Penrith? I would giggle to myself for sure. It'd be great because, like, I definitely view the Penrith Panthers as the biggest rival for the Roosters for the premiership. So I'm like, if in week 1 they have to play against the Warriors in New Zealand, that'd be the best situation for me, because I think that's probably the hardest test other than coming up against us, and I don't want them to come up against us. So that'd be great. All right, Gerbo now back to find Tolatau Kola. Although, will that then mean that we play them? It'll probably mean that if they lose in week 1, it would probably mean that we play them in the prelim. Yikes. Good catch there from the Hammer, and he does get away from a few Manly defenders. Still going here, Hamaso. Does well. That's why he's an Origin player. He probably won't be fullback for Samoa, actually. I think Suafalonga will be fullback for Toa Samoa. So probably in the centres then. The Hammer. Crichton the other centre. To'o and Talangi on the wings. Jet says, hard to say this as a Blues fan, but Walker surely got revenge against Cleary. Oh, sure. Yeah, I mean, I said it on a Roosters live stream yesterday. Roosters fan live stream. I reckon in Origin, you could say that Walker got the better of Cleary in 2 of the 3 games. He definitely did in at least 1 of the 3 games. Game 1's it was very much a game of 2 halves. So this is yet another time this season where Sam Walker has got the better of Nathan Cleary. Hello, Ali. Hope you're going well as well. Good to see you here. Will we ever see a try? I don't think so. I think it's unlikely in this game that we will see a try, which is unfortunate. You know, Rugby League obviously about tries you would generally expect, but no, I don't think so. Will Talangi even play? When does his new contract start? Yeah, that's the only issue. as Lanaz knocks that one on. Plath does recover it. Here's the opportunity that the Dolphins have been starved of so far in this game. Who else would be on the wing? If not Talangi. Because To'o obviously will have one side. I don't know. 6 more there, Dolphins. You just get a sense of that tide turning. You just do. Played there. Marshall King's in a dummy half. Nikorima with it, going on the short side. Herbie underneath him, scheming the English centre. He'll be a star in the Rugby League World Cup. That one is for sure. Plays it here. Marshall King to Plath. Deep into the line, gets it to Katoa. Underneath, drops Lemuelu. In fact, it's Finafuiaki, excuse me. This will be a 1-0 game. Shout out to the Mounties v Bulldogs New South Wales Women's Premiership final. I remember that. They are so close here through Francis Molo. This is the 4th. Katoa at the back. Bostock has a bit of room around him here. Does get tackled there by a couple of Manly defenders. So I'm going to go here in this set. Hammer will find Katoa. Puts it up in the air. The chase is from Herbie. He knocks it back. Went up with 2 hands. That was the crucial thing. Unfortunately, Lemuelu couldn't find his outside man. Ray Stone then carries the ball over the touchline. Good scramble defense from Manly. Nope, it's not. It's penalty to Dolphins for high contact. That was a late call coming in from Grant Atkins. If the race for minor prem comes down to the last round, then we may not rest to skill first, which means we would verse Sharks at home and beat Souths. I personally would rest players. If top 2 is secure, I mean, obviously it kind of depends, like, who you're coming up against and what we'll see. Dolphins are going to take the 2. Okay, interesting. Just get their noses in front. I don't mind that, given, you know, that we've had 5 minutes gone and there's no points so far. I would rest players, though. I personally, when I was a kid, I was like, the minor premiership does mean something. And I will say, like, I do remember the seasons in which my team has won the minor premiership. 13, 14, 15, 18. But I would rather increase our chances of winning the comp. Really. Like, how much should we really talk about Canberra winning the minor premiership last year compared to the Broncos winning the premiership? So, I think in the final round, let's say if we win, we play Sharks at home. If we lose, we play Warriors at home. I would rest players. Even if it means losing to South Sydney, I wouldn't care. So, Isako, it's not an easy kick. I think most clubs wouldn't go for the 2 here, but they do trust their goal kicker. And he hits that beautifully. So, after all that early possession that Manly-Warringah had, it's actually going to be the Dolphins on top. Possession's been 60% Sea Eagles. Territory's been 58% Sea Eagles. So that is kind of amazing that it's ended up the way it has ended up. By the way, I'm surprised no one has brought this up yet, but Billy Slater, how about it? Steps down as Origin coach. It's kind of crazy. I mean, what do I always say? Rugby League is about moments. If James Tedesco doesn't come up with that catch in the final play of Game 1, I don't think Billy Slater steps down. Obviously, that's speculative. Like, we don't know his exact reasoning for it. I kind of suspect that he might be an assistant at Melbourne next year and then take over as the head coach of the Melbourne Storm once Bellamy retires. In which case, makes sense, fair enough. But you got to think, maybe if they win the series, then that doesn't happen. It feels so good when your team wins the minor premiership. Sure, it feels okay. It feels a lot better when your team wins the premiership, though. For sure. All right. Marshall King now to fight Fine Fuiaki. Dean, I'm not questioning whether or not to stream. I'm very, very happy streaming at the moment. So, Plath with it. Hits it up over the halfway line, and a late call, a penalty here. This is very late in the set. I said the tide was turning, and moments are certainly confirming that. They certainly are confirming that. It's Cooper Crocs talking about the Roosters, which I love. Hell yes, Agent Cooper. Love that. I reckon that Dolphins score here, by the way. Got a feeling. Got a good old-fashioned rugby league feeling. Hang on. Leaguie, you a chill guy? I'm a pretty chill guy. Generally speaking, I'm quite chill. I'm quite chill. Robert Toy's best center in the comp, am I right? No. He's good. He's very, very good. And I'm incredibly happy to have him. And maybe he's the highest potential center in the comp, but I think Herbie Farnworth, I think even Stephen Crichton, even though he's not playing center at the moment. We've got another penalty here to the Dolphins. And it's 10 in the bin. Okay, it's going to be a professional foul against Manly-Warringah. I'm still not sure which player it is. So let's see what it was here. At a dummy half. Yeah, it was Kohler who did not get back on side. It has well and truly turned against Manly here. That's a huge moment in this game, and in the context of Manly's season, they need to win this. They need to win every remaining game. And they're about to have, for this next 10 minutes, basically until halftime, the Dolphins decide play for the top 4, coming at them with an extra man. A Tonga player in the sin bin. Interesting. I don't think he's been sin bin because he's Tongan, as evidenced by the multiple other Tongan players on this field who are not, in fact, in the sin bin. Pass there from the hammer. It hasn't found his Sarkor, but he does really well to come back and collect it because Hopawate was there. Did Toya play in a team that's conceded 50 plus twice? And was he in a... sorry, was Herbie in a team that scored 80 plus though? Sure. But that's also not really how it works. Not really. Katara at the back to Nicarima. There's numbers out there. Nicarima dummies and runs himself and he's hit the in goal. I'm not sure he's got it down. And the ruling is that he hasn't. This could be one of the great try savers you will see from Jamal Fogarty. It's going to go up as no try. Nicarima's, he looks confident in claiming it. This is amazing if he's pulled this off. It's a one-on-one tackle, a genuine one-on-one tackle. Rolls him. Still got the ball, but the ball is up there. It touches the ground. Well, yeah, he's grounded that.
That's why you get the big bucks.
Dance party. Yellow square emoji. Yellow square emoji. Unce. Yellow square emoji. Yellow square emoji. Green square emoji. Yellow square emoji.
I like how you add the green square emoji for a little bit of rhythm. For a little bit of, like, you know, you hang it and then you resolve it. It's great. It's great. Anyway, Dolphins try. Nice. They had the overlap. It was a 3-on-2 situation. The dummy and run. And Fogarty inside did very, very well. He still did very, very well. Obviously, he didn't come up with a result, but it wasn't a bad tackle whatsoever. Nicarima got the job done. Damn, Dolphins nearly broke Roosters' hearts about conceding 50 plus. Yes. If you read into that, you have a look at the Roosters team that played that day. It was not the Roosters. It really was not the Roosters. So, yeah, I know I've had that game in a couple weeks against the Dolphins circled for quite some time because I think with our actual team playing against them, we'll get a win. Reminds me of last year. I was actually in Bali when we played the game against the Dolphins, late-ish in the season. And we put on an absolute cricket score on them. And I don't necessarily think we'll put a cricket score on them this time around, but certainly not impossible. They've shown that they are capable of conceding big points totals. Let's put it that way. Kick there from Misako. He does convert the try. 8 points to 0 it is. Yeah, we beat them 64-12 last year. It always feels like a good break, but I need to make it say ounce. Ounce? Is that what we're saying? Next time, I think. Yeah, I was wondering what that part was. Sharky says, who you go for in this game? Dolphins. Dolphins. Only because I want Manly to lose as many games as possible. So my prediction doesn't look as bad. Look at that momentum tracker. I'd still like to know how they actually do it, but yeah, anyway. But it does, I think, show, you know, we had that situation early in the game, and we are now, I don't want to toot my own horn, but we are now looking back at that opening 25 minutes and thinking, wow, how did Manly not come away with points? Because the Dolphins, with much more limited opportunity, certainly have. Were you applying for jobs in Canberra or back in Sydney? The jobs that I saw happened to be back in Sydney. Although, like, there were the companies that I was applying for, I was looking for opportunities in Canberra. I've got to specifically look for jobs in Canberra if possible. But yes. Jet says, Roosters better be careful because the Dolphins did in fact end the Raiders' chances of premiership glory. I feel that... it's Hopewadi. It's a really good catch and kick return. Still going here. I feel that probably the Raiders ended their chances of premiership glory by, their play this season. But anyway, sure. So they're close to the halfway line there off the kick return from Hopewadi. Now Lanaz hitting it up. I don't know why I expected... I thought Nicholas Lanaz was going to be like a Lebanese looking dude, but he looks like a surfer, bro. I wonder where the name Lanaz is from. Anyway, it's going to be Simpkin in a dummy half. Waddell, the man playing the ball. They find Nathan Brown hitting it up now to 30 meters out. This will be the last for Manly. Simpkin will find Jamal Fogarty, puts boot to ball, trying to find the wing of Jason Saab. It's not really going to get there. It's a poor kick because Cobbo has caught that one in goal as he returns it back to the 20. Tap and go. Someone Cobbo carries it up to the 30. Bad kick from Jamal, unfortunately. Annoying. Looking at the poll. So, the majority of people, by a bit of a margin, really, 27 votes to 13, reckon that the Dolphins will win this game, and I can't disagree with that whatsoever. I think that that's certainly the way that it's playing out at the moment. I low-key thought it would be 30-0 Fins. I didn't think that. You got to remember, I mean, Manly do still have heaps to play for, but we did see last week, they obviously started the game very strongly against Melbourne and then just fell away towards the end. Could be a similar situation here. Cartella out the back. To find Nikarima, there's room out there. He frazzes the ball out, and unfortunately it beats Selwyn Cobbo. It was worth passing. But Cobbo couldn't reel it in, unfortunately. Sharky says, I'm away at the moment and can't find the game anywhere. Thank you for streaming. No, that's all right. That's all right. I will say I don't really do much commentary of it. But I'm glad to have you here anyway. Harp Drinker says, Super League are taking 2 games to Dublin, Ireland next year. You reckon NRL will do something similar in the UK and Ireland? Half of South London, where I live, is Aussie, lol. Yeah, certainly we've discussed Global Round, and Global Round wants to do, well, the NRL for Global Round want to do something in London. I don't mind the idea. We obviously had Australia versus England in the Ashes there at Wembley last year, and the crowd, I think, was definitely good. We have to temper expectations. I don't think we could take Manly-Warringah versus Canterbury Bankstown over to London and expect to get 30,000 people. But, you got to start somewhere. You got to do something. Manly there get 6 coming out of their own end. Like the idea of expanding into Ireland, though. Obviously, rugby union is stronghold, but little rugby league presence. Same with Scotland. I think there's big untapped markets there, personally. Same with France. Like, we've obviously got the south of France to an extent. Still those historical connections back from the World War II era. But certainly the rest of the country, I think there's a lot of rugby league potential. And that's like, I'm thinking big picture here, but I think if we were to get a solid competition going in France, it could be a springboard. Penalty here for Manly. They tap and go quickly here. Nikarima did get back on side. Dolphins giving away some opportunities here during this sin bin period, has to be said. And yet another penalty, and it's going to be 10 in the bin here for the Finns. Who's it going to be? Lemuelu, I think, is the player being ushered off the field. Wow. It's going to be 12 on 12 for the next few minutes. But that flipped the game back on its head. A couple of repeat penalties. Look at that. All good, Jet. See you later. It's funny, Tiger Walker started spamming yellow square emojis, and I was like, wow, okay, that's a bit late. We've had a long while since the Cola sin bin, but Lemuelu off the field. Okay, so 12 on 12, and if Manly can get a try here, you've sort of got to say, given that obviously Lemuelu has a fair bit of time left in the sim and he's just gone compared to Kohler, Manly could have the upper hand here. Simpkin to find Fogarty. Now Walsh stepping around the middle of the field, tackled by 3 Dolphins players. Ball gets cut out all the way to find Ruby Garrick, who winds up, has a solid run there himself. Panth fan, I'm not sure what you mean with the word lemon there, but anyway, good to see you here. Sorry about last night. Walsh does get the ball out to 5 for Alalo. It was not really a good pass for him. He actually did pretty well to get it out to find Hopoate, but anyway. So this will be the last here. 3.5 minutes left in this first half. We'll see what Manly can come up with here. Ball does make its way out to find Fogarty eventually. He's going to go through the hands here. Tapped on. Here's a bit of danger. Cobo does pick it up. Can't quite keep his footing. Still going here, though, Solomon Cobo. And we'll get the ball up to about the halfway line. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to pick it up and just go straight away. But, yeah, the pass was pretty poor from Ruben Garrick. Did Leaguie Swear says, if Scotland pick a team of Canberra-based players only, do you think you would make the squad? Absolutely not. No. I don't... Would I be eligible for Scotland? I think... No. No, I wouldn't be. I wouldn't even be eligible for Scotland, no. It's one generation too distant, unfortunately. Sharky says, what do you think PNG will come in their first year? Still have yet to build most of their squad. But finals, I think, is a realistic possibility. I don't think much further than that, though. I think people are overstating how good their team is going to be. But anyway. So one more to go here for the Dolphins now. A good set for them. They're 10 meters out. The hammer holds it, gets it to Katoa, dribbles a little kick in, and it's been cleaned up by Hopoate. So, yeah, neither side really hitting their straps, it has to be said, in attack. A couple of execution problems for both sides. The other thing with PNG, and it's hard because the Dolphins, like, really did defy this, but you know how we talk about teams going into a new season building new combinations? Every single combination at PNG is going to be a new combination. So that's going to take its time to figure out. Obviously, you've got, you know, Luai, To'o played together before, but they're not really linked to each other on the field too much. The 5'8" and the wingers. So, yeah. Yeah. Did League Swear says, you said in the past you were via grandmother from Aberdeen. I am autistic. I might have misspoken. My great-grandmother is from Aberdeen. Not my grandmother, unfortunately. So, yeah, another time there for Manly where they've just wasted it on the last. Kohler is back on the field now. My animation should return to only having the yellow line above the Dolphins shortly. Run there from Fine Fuiaki. So, for the Dolphins, I mean, they're lucky to have possession here towards this this final set of the first half. That was potentially forward. Anyway. We'll see if they could do anything. Still a man down. Obviously, the Dolphins, they will be for about, I think, 4 minutes of the second half. But anyway. So, Katoa will put the ball high up in the air. They're not really chasing through that hard. Bostock will actually be there, though. I think he's knocked that one on. Isako lets it go over the touchline. They don't have a challenge, so it's going to be a changeover. Yeah, Manly ball, but only for the next 20 seconds. One of the first halves of all time, truly. PNG will legit have Watson, To'o, Luai, Lomax, Johnson, maybe Manu, and probs more that I forgot. Surely they win the comp. That's more stacked than current Roosters. It's not. I don't think so, anyway. Okay, I mean, let's compare it to current Roosters. Watson, obviously, Watson. To'o, Rangani Tuase. Luai, Walker. Lomax, Tupou. Johnson, Toya. I haven't even mentioned Tedesco. I haven't mentioned White. I haven't mentioned Robson. I haven't mentioned Cherry Evans. I haven't mentioned Angus Crichton. I haven't mentioned Victor Radley. Like, we are getting excited. And I think a lot of media are getting excited because it's kind of easy to villainize the Chiefs at the moment. But I do not think that they are actually going to be that good. At least, you know, surely they win the premiership good. Other thing is, we don't know how they're building their squad. I think it looks like they're building a very top-heavy roster. In which case, sure, they're going to have some star names, but then they're going to fill out the rest of their 17 or 19 with maybe domestic PNG players who will be on little to no money, but aren't going to be as good. Are you looking forward to Chelsea Lenarduzzi scoring Lenarduzzi tomorrow? I am well and truly not looking forward to that. A bold prediction won't happen. It's actually that bold a prediction, isn't it? It's exciting, though. Roosters versus Broncos. Genuine, brilliant game of NRLW. I certainly will be keeping my eye on that as I'm streaming. Whether they're good depends on the coach, though. Who is even coaching them? Willie Peters. He's been the coach of Hull KR for a little while now, so won the Super League with them, their inaugural Super League title. He's a good coach, but he's not been a head coach in the NRL before. Jack says, I don't think enough people are considering the possibility some players are purely in it for the cash grab and no pride in the jersey. I don't think that would be the case for players. Sure, they might be in it to an extent for the cash grab, but not purely for the cash grab, and I think they would have pride in the jersey. So, wouldn't agree with that categorization, but anyway. Pantherface says, GG Roosters for the premiership and to bring glory back to Australia in the World Club Challenge. I'd certainly love to see that happen. Here's what I'll do. If the Roosters win the premiership, I'll try and get a paid junket over to England to watch us play in the World Club Challenge. So I can go visit my mates over there. What are your thoughts on me being eligible for 4 different countries? Mr. Worldwide, Mr. 305 over here. Danny, love that from yourself. Very good stuff. Roosters are definitely not GGs for the premiership, though. Let's calm it down. It's funny. So much of this season, I think we've been underrated by everyone. And now, suddenly, it's like, oh, yeah, Roosters premiership to win. Nah. Watson says all players are playing for the cash. Yes, to an extent. So, that's a good point. It's a very good point. Okay, should we torture ourselves? I think we should torture ourselves. Let's torture ourselves a little bit. Let's torture ourselves. I'm going to commit to doing something right here, right now. Once I get 27-0, I'm not touching this thing ever again. I am committing to not touching this thing ever again. But until then, unfortunately, we will be. Gasnier was still playing in 2011. Oh, of course. No, yeah, he was in the 2010 Grand Final. Adelaide Rams 1998. Oh, that's going to be a reroll. That's going to be a reroll. There ain't no one. No one. Was Count Binface robbed? He won a quarter of the vote. That's incredible. Nigel Farage, in one of the most conservative constituencies in England, lost a quarter of the vote to a bin. That's so funny. That is so funny. Obviously, it wasn't a win, but I don't think it was ever going to win. So a very, very impressive result, and certainly one that's deeply embarrassing for Mr. Farage. Danny says, I got 27-0 months ago at this point. Well, I'm happy for you. Definitely not jealous whatsoever. Super, super pleased for you. Yep, no, that's great. That's great. Happy days. So good. So good. This has been a very good start. We'll get to add Gallon to it now as well. Happy with this. We've locked out the outside backs, which to me tends to be the tricky bit. Have used a reroll though. Probably going to go with a Luke O'Donnell in the back row, who's not going to be ideal. Where is he? There he is. But it's something. It's okay. League, I think Nick Lanaz is related to former Tigers outside back Josie Lanaz. Both have played for Italy and are mutuals on Instagram. Well, there we go. So, Lanaz doesn't sound like an Italian name to me, though. Thurston halfback. Of course, Marshall and Thurston in the halves. It always is. It's interesting, though. Because, yeah, I want to know where the name is from. This is not ideal here. Georgialas? Was he actually good? I know he ended up being a coach. I don't want to pick Brett Hodgson at fullback, even though I know he's 87. I want to hold out for someone better. It's 87, all right. No, I want to hold out. This is a risk. He's only 79. Yeah, I shouldn't have taken the risk. Penrith, 1999. Guys are actually that good in this. It's fallen apart. It's unfortunately fallen apart. We'll go Sattler. I'm pretty sure it is an Italian name. I guess I could kind of see it, but ending with a Z? Really? Really? You sure? I'm not sure. Personally not sure. This is just stinky, bro. It's fallen apart completely. Manly 07. Great. Okay, Brett Stewart at the back. I'm glad I held out for Brett Stewart's. Tigers 2000. Shane Walker at hooker. That is dreadful. 16 and 8. Well, okay, we'll go again. Thoughts on the NRL adding a colonizers team to the Indigenous v Maori All-Stars? All jokes, but still, yeah, that'd be great. That'd do so well. Indigenous versus colonizers. Oh, that I mean, you joke, but that's sort of always been my retort to people saying the Indigenous team should compete in international fixtures. What does that leave the Kangaroos as? The colonizers. So, yeah, not a massive fan of that idea. I mean, Lenarduzzi is Italian, and it almost ends with 2 Zs. Yes, but it's different because it ends with an I. You see, there are a fair few Uzis. Knowers of Prison Break, the show, John Abruzzi, for instance. But it almost sounds Lebanese to me. I don't know. When I think of names that end with Z, I'm thinking like Middle East. I'm thinking Middle East. Pure vibes from myself. Will not shy away from that fact one bit, but nonetheless, I stand by it. Nonetheless, I stand by it. Geez, they had some wingers, by the way. We'll go Gaznia. Indigenous versus colonizers would go hard. It would be a hell of a social experiment. That is for sure. Titans 2017. Did they have Hayne then? Perchance. No. Oh, they did. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Okay. Happy with that. Panthers 11. Is that Hudson Young? I've realized I'm really good at recognizing NRL player voices. Although I'm kind of risking a bit of aura here because if that's not Hudson Young, then that's unfortunate. Yeah, surnames ending in Z does give Lebanese energy. That's the thing. Racist? Certainly not. Because I have not said anything negative about it. I've just made the categorization. Oh, Sakila Trell in the centers. We've already got the centers locked up. That's right. Corner in the back row. This is a very good start. And we've got the reroll still to go. Canberra 05. Ooh. Less good. Notably less good. For sure. Yeah, I think this is the re-roll, unfortunately. I'm not going to use Tchaikovsky at fullback, and I don't really want to use Alan Tongue. Nah, do you know what? The winning team's not going to have Alan Tongue in it, so all due respect to Alan Tongue. Got to aim high. Got to aim high. James Gray is probably the go here. Rennie Maitua was still playing in 14. Wow. Matches says she'll never walk down Lime Street anymore. That'd be making me. I mean, it's a Beatles song, but I think it's an old Liverpudlian folk tale. A folk song. They did that as a little jam. I got 27-0 with an 87 Reece Walsh, so I don't know how much the game puts Socky to 90 plus overalls. There's a lot of random chance to it, but having the better team does still get you the better odds. So, Ranu for Tony, that's a throwback. Wowzers. Matt Dury? Probably go... I don't know how good Tolman would be in this, but we're going to go Jackson back row. Less good, but we still got the spine left. Newcastle 13. There was still Bedsy. Tell me there was still Bedsy. Tell me. Yes, there was. Okay. Okay, that's good. Storm 14. Okay. We just obviously can't go with Cameron Smith. That's all right. Do I take Slater at fullback or Cronk at halfback? I'll take Slater at fullback. Para, 0-2, Hindmarsh, lock. This is shaping up very well. We have used the reroll, but this is shaping up very, very well. Where's Hindy? Prop, 5/8 halfback. This will make or break it. Penrith, 0-2. Yes. Girdler, 5/8 or Gower halfback. I don't know their ratings. I'm really just guessing. Matt Dury was in my team of the preseason challenge, unironically. Shout out Matt Dury. I love Matt Dury. Joe says, can you debate viewers, aka me? Sure. I will debate you right here, right now. What would you like to debate about? Leaguie often debates viewers. Yes, he does. Frequently. What is this? This game is 27-0. I don't know if that's the topic that you want to debate about, though, because there's not a heap to discuss on that. I'm gonna risk things and go Girdler 5/8. Okay, he's 86. That's better than I feared. Para 06. Fui Moi. Need a bit of Fui Moi in the team, I reckon. It's okay. We need probably a really good halfback here, though. Para 17. It's Moses. Okay. No, we didn't get that. 12-12. Jesus Christ. I'm done. Well, we might come back to it later. I don't know if he'll listen while I was playing 27-0. I could 100% debate anyone while playing 27-0. Like, it's so monotonous playing that game. You pick the same players again and again. I would not struggle. Lily says, in colonizers versus indigenous, when the indigenous team do the ceremony, the colonizers could ride out on a boat for historical accuracy. Oh, no. Wow. Set a time on NRL Discord channel. Well, you haven't even said what you want to debate yet. So before I know whether I'm going to take time to debate you, I'd rather know. I'd also, frankly, rather just debate you here, if I'm honest. But yeah. Matson says, what is sweet now turns so sour. We all know obla-dee-blah-da. But can you show me what you are? Savoy Truffle. I'll debate you on ref corruption. Okay, that will be quite easy for me, personally. Wait, were you the person I recognize your username, I think. Did I discuss this with you when I was talking about burden of proof? If that wasn't you, it might have been someone else. But happily, no, let's do it here. Look, frankly, this game is not the most entertaining. Let's do it. Let me know, what proof do you think you have of ref corruption and match fixing? Oh, it was you. Okay, yeah, cool. Let's do it then. Well, to be honest, I didn't get around to replying to your final message, but I might be able to get it up, and I'll respond to it in real time, and that's where we'll start it. Yeah, here it is. So we were having a little bit of, I don't know if people will care about this, but anyway, whatever. We're having a little bit of a back and forth, no, that's not the right page, about match fixing and corruption. Our friend Joe Malone alleged that the NRL was engaging in match fixing. His final message was, it's motive and patterns that form theories. Proof is in the pudding. If you wanted to make a bet payout, you could. Being a ref, choosing to look past an obvious forward pass like this is evidence that the calls that should happen but aren't noticed by the public aren't happening enough. As a ref, you should know how easy it would be to deliberately not make certain calls. Slowing down the ruck offside. It's super fast-paced game. And why is it so easy to manipulate the game? Not to mention 6 against can be said and not be questioned as to why. 18 plus tackles in one set is ridiculous. If you think you need evidence to say the refs are manipulating the game, you're basically saying crime doesn't exist because the law exists. So there's a lot to unpack there. You spoke about 3 or 4 different things. There's a kickoff for the second half, by the way. What I will say is you're making the frankly wild assumption for such an allegation that because incentive exists, it must be happening, which is kind of crazy. Your final line is what I will dispute. You're basically saying crime doesn't exist because the law exists. What? No. You're saying that despite the law existing, everyone's committing crimes. Is really more what's actually happening there. Fact is, you have no proof of anything. The fact that calls are missed does not prove corruption. Certainly, if corruption were happening, calls would be missed, sure. But calls have always been missed in every sport ever. Does corruption happen always in every sport ever? No. I'll ask you a question. Those who watch my most recent video will know that I like to do that. If the NRL were match fixing to form certain outcomes, why the ever-living hell would the Roosters be in first place? That's like the worst outcome for them. So, how come? Madsen, that's why don't we do it in the road off the White Album. Although it's not called the White Album, it's the Beatles. But yes. 30k in gambling debt is something to be talked about. Yeah, it would be if it was true. It's not. He did lose 30k gambling, but he wasn't in debt. He had the money to pay it off. Ashley Klein. But also, not the question that I asked. Also, not the case now. So you're talking about calls that are missed now. And using a gambling loss, not debt, that happened years and years ago that wasn't to do with rugby league as your evidence. Would not stand up in a court of law, my friend. All right, Isako hitting it up. To make this a little bit more tricky on me, because frankly, I think that the premise you've chosen is very difficult to prove. I'm just going to commentate while debating you to make it a little bit more tricky, but we'll see. You can't say the forward pass versus Penrith wasn't clear motive. Yes, I absolutely can. I find it a little difficult to believe. How quick you are to jump to a guilty verdict. I'm very glad that you're not representative of the legal system. Innocent until proven guilty well and truly exists, and that is magnitudes away. You're saying a missed forward pass is clear motive of match fixing and corruption. If they were match fixing that game, they did a pretty terrible job, by the way, because the Warriors won. So, anyway, Garrick hitting the ball up. The Warriors had more forward passes missed. Well, there we go. I mean, I don't know. I'd love to know the penalty count of that game, actually. If we're talking about one call being proof, not just an example, but actual proof of match fixing and corruption within the NRL. The penalty count in that game, let's see. If you have okay, penalties conceded, Penrith 5, Warriors 3. So you're saying that they were match fixing for Penrith, and yet Penrith conceded more penalties than the Warriors. Interesting hill to die on. Nice. It wasn't even slightly forward, it was literally right in front of him. Yeah, it was a terrible call. That's all it was, though. It was just a bad call. Very unfortunate. Nope, that was a deliberate attempt to get Penrith on the board. But you don't know that. You cannot say that. You are believing that because you want to believe that. There is no proof of that other than it being a bad call. So, kick here from Isaiah Katoa. Again, I'll ask you this question. If they were match fixing in that game, why did the Warriors win 28-12? If the game is so easy to manipulate, as you said in your comment there with 6 against and everything, why? Why did the Warriors win 13 plus? They're doing an absolutely terrible job, like a comically bad job of match fixing, if that's what they're trying to do. I'd rather talk to you in voice because it's 9 p.m. in NZ. I mean, frankly, I'm going to be honest, man. I don't think there's enough merit to what you're saying to stage a formal debate about this. You don't have a case other than the vibes of that one call being really bad. And I agree with you that it was really bad. So there's nothing to debate. It just, frankly, factually doesn't prove what you think it does. Played there by Fogarty. If it's too late in New Zealand for you to debate this, I'll be back streaming tomorrow. All games earlier in the day. Feel free to come along and we can discuss it then. Happily will. Played here by Isako. Katoa picks it up. Runs up to about 35 out from his own line here. So Dolphins still a man down. Lemuelu's still in the bin for this opening little period, but we'll be back very, very shortly. Played here. Marshall King finds Max Plath. If we had a voice chat, I could plead my case. I feel that you could plead your case. Type as long a message as you want. You certainly did in those comments. Ball gets out now to find Lemuelu. Not Lemuelu. Yeah, it is Lemuelu. I was like, Lemuelu's in the sin bin. It can't be Lemuelu. But he's not. He's out there again. Good stuff. Why is the Indigenous round 2 rounds? It's not. It was only last week, but not every team had a home game last week, so they want to do something for their home game as well. Interesting, though, that the referee's jersey is Indigenous. I guess they're just, partaking. You're too fast compared to what I can type. I will sit back and I will not say anything until you type out a big long message. I won't answer anything. You can type it in multiple messages if you want. And once you say you've stated your case, I will then address it. I won't say anything. Happily. The problem is the gambling dollar speaks volumes at the end of the day. It does. It does. It doesn't prove anything though. But it kind of sounds like you're wanting to not. Like you say, you can type out your you can state your case. Got a big opportunity, but you won't do it. If you like, record a voice message. Send it to me on Discord. If you want. I'm making a lot of concessions here. So. Anyway. If you ask me, Indigenous round should be 1 round. It is 1 round. Well, from the NRL's perspective, it is 1 round. It's the clubs who want to do something in their home stadium, and I can understand that. Again, I said this earlier. Like, I think that certainly there's a crowd who would be frustrated that we've now actually had a 3-week period of the Indigenous jerseys. But it doesn't bother me, and I don't know if the NRL should be trying to appease the crowd who gets frustrated with too many Indigenous things in the game. Is it 2 rounds? I thought it was just last week. Oh, no. Actually, sorry. You're right. I am wrong about that. It is 2 rounds. That explains the ref's jersey. Oh, yeah. It's because the Cowboys didn't have home games in either this round or last round. So that's why they wore Indigenous jersey against us. I will hit you up. Feel free. Again, honestly, I don't think your case has enough merit for me to schedule a live debate about it, but if you want to record a voice message, feel free. Feel free. All right, add a dummy half here. Again, Matson, I think it is so that each team can have a go at doing their ceremony at their home game. Brown hitting it up. So it's going to be Simpkin in a dummy half here. Plays it. Simpkin now. Finds Jamal Fogarty. Will kick from well inside the 40. That's close to a 40-20. The hammer left it. I think he has got away with it there, but it was bloody close. And Hammer's not happy with this call. I'm not sure what ruling we've actually had here. It's not a 40-20. It's definitely not a 40-20, but I think the touchy seems to have made the right call there. Looks like it'll be Dolphins ball. Yeah, it is. So half an hour left to go in this game. Still only 8 points to 0. Damn, I tell you what. This next game that we've got coming up between South Sydney and the Dogs, kind of need a game of that level of, excitement, because this one's sending me to sleep just a little bit. Cobo into space here. Does get away from Garrick. Can't get ankle tap there. And he just loses the ball straight away. What a tackle from Faulalo, who stands over him. Nikorima's not happy about it. What a tackle from Clayton Faulalo. That was brilliant.
He's everywhere, bro.
Yes, he is. When you have someone Cobo charging at you, he can come up with an error someone, unfortunately, but yeah, what a tackle that was. What a tackle that was. Jesus. That's the kind of play that can turn things around. It can turn you around in a game. And again, I want to stress the point. Manly's season is on the line in this game. That's how you do it, Ponga? Yeah. Good point. Very good point. Pardew says, how you feeling about the ladder at this point, bro? Bruv. Oh, hell yeah. Oh, hell yeah. Very pleased. Very, very pleased. We got 6-1 here, Manly. Did you prefer the 13, 18, or 19 premiership as a Chooks fan? Very good question. And there's an argument to make for each of them. 13 was the first that I saw in my lifetime, so it will always hold a very special place. 18, I think, was, just an absolute super team. The grand final was so comprehensive. There was so much on the line in that grand final as well. I got rid of Mitchell Pearce, taking a big gamble and getting Cronk in. But then 19 was going back-to-back. And that was something that no one in the NRL era had done before. Reasons for all of them? I lean towards 18, and I can't tell you why. I can't tell you why it matters more to me than the other ones. But I think 18 was just the vibes of it, beating Storm in the grand final as well. Yeah. Matson says, is Saab the Lebo that isn't a Lebo playing tonight? Yes, he is. Yes, he is. And in fact, he had the ball there, knocked it on Nikorima with a bit of space. Tried to get a ball back in field. He nearly goes over this touchline there. Has been knocked on there by Herbie Farnworth. No. Oh, sorry. The answer is going to be yes, but Manly had knocked it on first. Chico says, if Dogs lost tonight, Manly and Storm can still make it. I think Manly, not Storm. Even if Manly lose this game, we'd be very much getting into the areas of mathematic chance, because this would be Manly's 12th loss, and I do think you need to be 13 and 11 really to make it. But anyway. Lily says, did you know Ivan Cleary quoted my uncle in the Sydney Morning Herald from yesterday? That's very cool. That's awesome. Must be very cool for your uncle as well. Jack says 2013 because it was a first for me, and not a lot of people thought we had matured enough to make the 8 with a rookie coach, let alone win the comp. It's true. The rookie coach, yeah, getting SBW in, winning Minicello, another grand final right towards the end of his career. A rookie, Roger Tuivasa-Sheck. Daniel Tupou was essentially a rookie as well. There's a lot of good stuff about it. Pierce winning his first. Yeah. Pardew says, your boy's sitting pretty. I'm fins up for this one, but I'm a Souths fan first up. Well, lots on the line for you in this next game. Less so than the Dogs after you got the win last week against Para. But still, there's options on the short side here. They don't find it. The hammer does eventually get to Jack Bostock, who will be tackled there. Madeline watching all the way from PNG. Much appreciated, Madeline. Great to see you here. That's been batted on by Herbie Farnworth over the touchline. Might have been forward anyway. Thank you so much for tuning in all the way from Papua New Guinea. You must be very excited about the Chiefs coming in particular, I would think. Chico says, if Souths get an L tonight, season's over. I definitely don't care. We aren't winning more than one game. And Madsen says, Souths have a tough run home. Let me have a look at what it is for them. Because I know they have, obviously, us in the final round. And I have I've said this a few times. I think that we are going to rest players there. They've got Warriors next up. Titans shouldn't be too hard, and then us. So what we say in here, 11-9 is what they're currently on. If they lose tonight, 11-10, probably lose to Warriors, 11-11. They have to then beat Titans and beat Roosters to make it. I think that's quite possible, to be honest. I think that's quite possible. We are getting one win after tonight, which is Titans. Yeah, maybe. If we don't rest players in the final round, still would be a lot to play for. But I have a feeling we will. Especially if Warriors drop a game. Kind of could depend if Warriors drop a game. By the way, I'm just looking. I mean, not want to promote gambling odds, but Roosters and Panthers now for the first time equal odds to win the comp. So it's going to be ruled out. Knock on there. Manly. 25 minutes to go here. Still yet to come up with points. Obviously, the Sea Eagles. 2018 was the best because Storm fans were mad that Cronk was playing good at a team that wasn't them, and 19 would be good, but there's still people who haven't gotten over the no 6 again. Yeah, oh, for sure. I cannot wait to make my video about that, finally. Hello, Taleb. Good to see you. Jack on 2013 says, Luke O'Donnell's swan song, Moa exploding out of the blue, and a discarded Daniel Mortimer. I just love that side. True. Boyd Cordner coming back as well to play in the grand final. The Dolphins get a penalty there. Which was very much unexpected. He hadn't played in ages. A super young Boyd Cordner. Even players like Sean Kenny-Dow. Like, getting a premiership. He was a regular New Zealand international. He deserved to have a premiership to his name. Madsen says, I predicted that the Refsters would beat the Storm back in 2018. So did I. So did I. Chico says, if we get a win tonight and win one more, we are locked even with losses. You should get in with 13 and 11. It's whether... I think Dogs could then still have 13 and 11, and it will come down to points difference. You are a lot better than them. You're a lot better than North Queensland as well after we battered them. So, yeah, you'd be almost there. Almost there. Skidsy broke his jaw in that grand final too. He did. He did. And we came down from 10 points down as well. Knock on there, Dolphins. This has been a real scrap of a game. Which 3 teams do you hate the most? I don't hate any teams. As Garrick is through, he gets an offload. Jason Saab with it. Saab is away. It's going to be called a forward pass. That's huge. The boos are about to ring out at Brookvale. Okay, this is a bold call. This is a bold call, and it's going to be looked at a hell of a lot. It was a suspect one, I will say, when it was passed. Have Saab and Hammer race yet? In this game, no. Let's see here. Garrick had it. Tripped. Yeah, here's forward. Great call, Grant Atkins. That is a really good call for Grant Atkins. Because I think if that one is let go, I don't know if too many people are flagging it. Lily says, how does it feel knowing Roosters are one of the only teams who are locked in for finals and mathematically can't drop out? I don't really think about that too much. Making the finals was never the goal this season, so... Tough one to call. Madsen says, Jean-Claude Batar hates Graham Atkins. He's not the biggest fan of too many referees, JC, but, you know, that's all right. Can we see a good game? I think we'll see a good game next up. Rabbitohs Dogs, 7th and 9th. You reckon another try wins this for the Dolphins? With the way that this has gone, it feels a lot like last night's game, but just objectively worse. By the way, so I've got 2 monitors, as well as my laptop. I've got 2 monitors either side of me. One that has the chat on it, and a web page open for like info and stuff, and the other one, a web page open and my soundboard. I'll show you guys what I've just been looking at basically for the last half hour. Just that. I've just been looking at that, literally. Just been glancing over. Very, very pleased at the state of seeing the Roosters in first place, pretty much. Here come the Dolphins on to find Cobbo for the corner. No, try saver. Try saver. He's got up claiming it. There's no chance he's got this down, in my opinion. We haven't got a ruling yet, though. Yeah, okay, it's going to go up as a no try. I think there's no hope of having scored this, but anyway. I think touchline has got him, and I'm not even sure he's got the ball down, frankly. It's Falalo again. Oh, he did actually have a good chance at this, Cobbo. He has got it down. I didn't think he had. Yeah. Yeah, that's a try. That's a try. I thought he'd been got for sure. Well, folks, I just said, does one more try win this for the Dolphins? If they convert this, I think it might. It's whether he's lost possession, but I think he's got that. I'm giving that a try. Madeline says, I don't think it's a try. Do you think he's dropped it? Leaguie just died. Danny says, do you remember the stream I changed my name? I will be honest with you. I don't know what your name was before, so no. Yeah, it'll go up as a try. Sorry, it won't go up as a try. It went up as a no try, but it will be ruled a try. Good thing the bunker exists, by the way. Otherwise, that'd be a no try. Try time for the Dolphins, and that might be the dagger in Manly season. Smart Guy says, Andrew Voss called it the Temu version of last night's game, and so both had an 8-0 halftime scoreline. Yeah. Yeah. I didn't hear him say that, but that's essentially the exact thing that I said. Damn. Just got an AI ad for an online doctor. What? Damn. Holy. That can't be legal? I don't think it is. There's a hell of a lot of scam ads on YouTube, let me tell you. By the way, I got approached. I don't know if this is legit. This is one thing that I think a lot of people wouldn't know about YouTube is you get approached with a lot of ad things that are just like not legit. And not even like, you know, you will get paid and you're advertising a scam. Just that, objectively speaking, it's not a genuine company. Anyway, I got an email today, and I think it was a genuine company, so I will reply to them. But it was to promote Jack Daniel's whiskey. Like, really? Me? This face? Selling whiskey? I look 12. That's odd. Why? Why me? Anyway, my average audience age is about 3.5. What a kick from Misako. Anyway, whatever. Anyway. Madsen absolutely fiending right now, by the way. Brother is absolutely parched. Absolutely parched.
Oh, what about that? Send him off! Send the dressing off!
Yeah, bit of dirty kid in there, that's for sure. I'm 15, no ball knowledge. I'm in my teens. Sure, fine. You still can't drink Jack Daniels. No. Won't be doing that. So many scam gambling game ads on YouTube. Oh yeah, for sure. Someone just redeemed a thing.
Smart Guy Yay just redeemed timeout somebody else. Chico we 420.
It's just borderline bullying at this point. It's just borderline bullying. You're a baby and the audience is even more baby. Fascinating choice. Yeah. To be honest, I think maybe they were just putting it out to, like, you know, a heap of rugby league creators or whatever, but... And not Bundaberg Rum, I know. At least make it a Bundy. Or something. But it's, some of the ads, sorry, the emails are hilarious. It's like, it'll be a generic email from a generic company being like, hi, and then the Leaguie, and the Leaguie's in bold and it's in a different font. I was watching your Warcraft 3 video the other day, and I really enjoyed it. I was watching your Fortnite video the other day, and I really like your style. Like, what? What? What do you mean? Anyway. Jack says, I'm in the senior citizen bracket of your viewership, and I'm in my late 20s. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. I think, frankly, if you're older than me, you're in the senior citizen bracket. And I'm 23, so... Yeah. Madsen, she certainly made her thoughts clear, Tiffany Salmon, but I've spoken about it before, and I really don't care. I have no reason to give that issue airtime. But anyway, it's not even an issue. For Lalo hitting it up. Is that, hang on, but is that only a comparison because they're both conventionally attractive? Is that not like a massive, massive black mark on like any other sideline creator? Why aren't we saying, why, I wonder what Tiffany Salmon thinks of Matt Russell doing sideline commentary. Shout out Matt Russell, absolute DILF energy. He's a daddy of a man. So why is that not a problem? Why is that not a problem? Manly get 6 more. Did not think I'd be calling Matt Russell a DILF today, but anyway, I stand by it. All right, Liafi with it. Manly, with 20 minutes to go, they've still got time on the board, for sure, but there's not going to be many better opportunities than this. Walsh throws it, intercept. Game. I'll say it again. Send it once more, just for good measure. No, Isako actually was caught, but Bossok's going to get there anyway. Try time. No, not 6 again. Try time. Madsen, she seems to have exactly one thing and one thing only, and it's, I was sacked for being too pretty. I know. At least that's all I tend to see of her, but anyway. Yeah, wow. Well, Isako, he didn't exactly show a clean set of heels. Gag absolutely chased him down. Wild flick pass, but it wasn't a flick pass actually, but a wild pass back to find Bostock, who just had the legs to get there. What the F was that? We saying the intercept or the sounds that I played? That's the sound goodbye, but like 10 of them. Wait, I'm gonna do that with Fafita. That's really funny.
I can't believe it.
I actually love that. You just close your eyes, drift off to a better place, and hear Michael Ennis saying "Fafita" like 10 times back to back. I didn't realize I could do that. Yes, I can do that. I could queue up. Well, yeah, it's not even queuing up things actually. It's just pressing the button and they'll play at once. Madsen says I'm in the senior citizen demo of the Leaguie's audience. Yeah, bro, you belong in a home. You belong in a home. Evidently. Sounds like it's in the afterlife, literally. Demus says, is this the end of Fosball? Fosball finished ages ago. Ages ago. Ages ago. It'll be absolutely game over if he converts this. He doesn't. He doesn't. There is the faintest of hope. 16 minutes to go. 18-0. Manly need 3 converted tries just to level it up. But not impossible. I'm that old to remember when you had to watch an hour of Burke's Backyard before the footy on a Friday night. On God, don't even know what Burke's Backyard is. No idea. How old are you though, Madsen? Out of curiosity. Leaguie swore? Did I? What? Really? Did not clock it. If I swore, did not clock it. That's my bad if I did. Did I say the Fosball finish freaking ages ago? But I didn't say frickin'. Was a gardening show like Better Homes and Gardens. Okay. And you had to watch it for an hour before the footy. You had no choice. Party says, we're on to the next one. What chances are you all giving the Bunnies? I think Bunnies will win, unfortunately. For me, personally. But, yeah, I think Dogs, unfortunately, at this stage, their confidence is going to be kind of shot after last week. Kind of depends. It could go both ways. They could be confident that they were able to take the Roosters as far as they did, but they had such a good game and then still didn't come away with a win. So, when you were stumbling saying Fosball, you said F quietly. Well, did not consciously do that. So that's interesting. Well, there we go. There we go. there weren't that many good things to watch back then. Are there good things to watch now? Farworth has knocked that one on. You know what, actually? So, I was thinking about this earlier today. This might be a sign of my age. It's not really a sign of my age. There was a Netflix show called 13 Reasons Why. I imagine quite a few people here will have seen the Netflix show 13 Reasons Why. And it's... Maybe this was just, like, in my own social circles at the time. But it felt like, at the time, it was, like, the biggest thing culturally. Pop culturally, maybe. That was going on. The show was huge. It felt like everyone was watching it. Again, could just be my own social circle, but I thought it was absolutely massive. And it's so weird that, like, I haven't heard about that show in years. It felt like the biggest thing, and now it's just gone. Vanished. Hate that show so much. I really liked it at the time, but I was, like, 14, maybe? So I was like, oh, this seems so cool and deep. It's weird. It just disappeared off the face of the earth, seemingly. Manly got 6 again there, by the way. About a tackle ago. I was just, talking about something else. Storm on top says, go Dolphins. Well, you'd be pleased with the scoreline as it is at the moment. Demas says, I do not see Manly coming back. No. Neither does anyone that knows ball. But, it's technically not impossible, so... Demas says, Bulldogs choked hard in that game. They choked on a chicken bone. They choked on Celeste Fiketti, bro. Oh, pause. That's, well, anyway. They did choke a win. They did choke a win. Sunday Arvo was delayed too. You watched it, and then when a break in play happened, they go on a news update and then spoil the result of the match. That's hilarious. Wow. Jack says, too much glorification of something so dark. Yes, and especially... Season 2, I had an issue with because Hannah, was that her name? Hannah Baker, yeah, was present. She was like there in the scenes, in visions, and it would give kids this idea that you can kill yourself and still be around, still have a presence, still see things, which is wild. Like, definitely not true. So, I don't know. So have a role with the living. No. Anyway. By psych person, I do mean I studied it. Sorry, you said... Oh, sorry, as a psych person, 13 Reasons Why went about almost as badly... Sorry, I'm not... Why went about it almost as badly as you could. Sorry, gotcha. Yeah, wow. There we go. But you know what I mean, like, right? Like, where did it go? What happened to it? Where'd it go? All right, Nicarima hits it into the eagle. It's been knocked dead there by Jason Saab. Smart Guy says, timeout Chico for longer. He DM'd me to unalive myself for a 5-minute timeout. It was 10 minutes in fairness. But that, yeah, no, that's kind of wild. Jesus. I mean, I'm not going to just because I don't want to extend my jurisdiction into DMs between people. But anyway. Yeah. Dolphins sneaking to the top 4 end of last round. Certain. Certain's bold. Possible. Sorry. Really funny. Chico's like, I didn't. And then, why did you reveal that? It's private. So very much flipped on the whole I didn't line of thinking there. Okay. That's all right. No, that's all right, Watson. I made it seem like the message was worse than it was. My brain just, yeah, failed. Anyway. Ball gets out now to find Jason Saab. In a little bit of space, but Herbie is across to make the tackle on him. Plays it there. Fogarty to find Nathan Brown, hitting it up to the halfway line. Dolphins don't deserve top 4 after this. Well, it's not been a good game from them by any means. Penalty given away there to Manly. But at the same time, like, you know, they've held Manly to 0 for the time being. Defense wins premierships. They've defended well. It means something. Do they deserve it less than Cronulla? And Cronulla just lost to Dragones, bro. Los Dragones del Saint Jorge Illawarra. Santa Jorge Illawarra Dragones. They lost to them. Crazy work. I wonder if I'm the first person in history to call them Los Santa Jorge Illawarra Dragones. Sorry, I find that really amusing. That's tickled me. That's tickled me. Smart guy Chico, get a room, please. Don't care. I don't think anyone else here really cares, so yeah. Anyway. Brown with a bit of ball playing back inside to find Lenaz. On the fourth here, they do need points here, you'd think. Fogarty gets it to Garrick. Tackle missed there by Cobbo. Garrick just stands in the tackle, gets a pass away. Now Fogarty in the hands of Simpkin. Lenaz hitting it up again. One more to go. It's not quite Manly season, but it could be Manly season. On the line here, Walsh puts a kick in, and Flagler's got it. And it's going to be a penalty Manly, okay. Take the 2. They only need to take the 2 9 times.
Smart guy Yay just redeemed, changed the background color. Red for the mighty Dolphins.
The mighty Dolphins. Sharks beat Finns 66-0. Yeah, Penrith also beat Roosters 40-4. Like, you know. I would rather play Dolphins than Cronulla week 1 of the finals. Would I? Actually, I don't know about that. That was a forward pass. They're celebrating a try. Hopwade's down. He has grounded it in the goal, but I thought it might have been a forward pass. It's been ruled a try. Well, the forward pass, they can't overrule it. Bit to look at, maybe with the put down, but for now... Let's see. No, I think his arm's in touch. I think his arm has got a touch in goal about a frame before the ball did. That was forward. I actually didn't look too closely at that replay. I should have looked more closely. I'm actually going to go back and look. It bloody looked forward, let me tell you. It bloody looked forward. Last year, Finns would be putting 50 in these games. That's how good they were. I mean, we put 60 on them at this point in the season, so... ish. That said, that was a bit of an outlier of a game, but yeah, sure. And as the arm is in touch, you might think that could well be Manly's season having evaporated. And I tell you who's not going to be happy about that. One, Jeff Tuvey.
There's got to be an investigation into this. There's got to be, someone's got to be accountable for this.
You know what would be even better than one Jeff Tuvey saying that? What about like 15 Jeff Tuveys all saying it slightly after one another? I swear we have actually died and transcended into a different world where it's just Jeff Tuvey constantly saying it. That's concept, folks. NRL rarely cares about forward passes turning into the NFL. No. Not true. They maybe aren't very good at ruling them, although Grant Atkins made a brilliant call on a forward pass earlier on to deny Manly a try. They definitely care about it. It's just not being able to rule it. 6 more there for the Dolphins. Chico, I don't think I can add more emojis than just that. I think I need to become a Twitch partner rather than just a Twitch affiliate in order to add more emojis, unfortunately. They've been more conservative this year and have really sucked since that loss to Newey. Dolphins? Yeah, I know. I know. 6 more there again for the Dolphins. Again, though, like, okay, let's say they get a cheeky try here and win this 24-0. You'd have to say, good win. Very good win. Against a Manly side playing for their season, despite the way that the game feels like it's played out. Nicarima crabbing around the middle of the field on the 4th, gets it to find Flagler. That sound came straight from a haunted house or something, bro. They care about them when it's against the Panthers. This is a joke. Nice. Must well be a joke, though, because of the forward passes missed by the Panthers against the Warriors and Eels. But anyway. Hammer with it. Steps inside. Surely they score here. Isako for the corner. Bang. Puts the exclamation mark on what you do have to say, I think, is a good win, ultimately, for the Dolphins. Wall Blue V. Yeah, I accidentally sometimes highlight it. I can highlight a lot more than just the V. There we go. Interesting. It's hard to unhighlight it. Anyway, there we go. Legman pressed on Control A. I did not. I just accidentally highlighted it. I agreed with 95% of what you said during the debate, except the forward pass part, to be fair. So, on the bunker being able to rule forward passes, I didn't really take a position on that, though. I said, don't you think that would introduce a massive grey area? All I wanted to do, really, was show that what Fred's position wasn't a solution. It would shift the problem. It wouldn't solve the problem, it would shift it. So we would essentially have a different problem, as opposed to solving the situation. Lily says, thoughts on the NYC mayor? Big man bounty enthusiast, personally. He's evidently getting a lot done. I think he's proving a lot of doubters wrong. He's a democratic socialist, and I'm a social democrat. They are different things. But I think it's a really interesting political experiment, and it seems to be working. Think Nicarima can make the Kiwi squad for the World Cup? Well, let's think. Who are their halves going to be? Dylan Brown's done. So, he was 5'8" for the Kiwis last year, as Isako does miss that. You think Hughes is going to be halfback, but he has pulled out on a number of occasions for quite some time now. So, who knows? Might need to focus on preseason. Really, even if he doesn't pull out, could you not go with Hughes and Nicarima in the halves? Who else? Who else is there? Explain the difference, Legman. I don't know. A difference in what? Oh, between social democrat and democratic socialist. A social democrat believes in socialist policies in a capitalist system. A democratic socialist believes in a socialist system. That's the key difference. Nick Kariba will play for the Netherlands. Unfortunately, I don't think so. So, less than 5 minutes to go. Manly are pretty much done. Well, they are done. Forget it. They're done. Oh, great. They're putting in a challenge. Yeah, because that's what we needed, to be here for longer. If they got after this. Knights in Newcastle, then Dragons and Warriors. Yeah, curtains, bro. Curtains. Even Dragons is not like an easy win now. You'd think they would lose to Newcastle and the Wars. So then they would end the season on 14 losses. Which currently is as many losses as the Broncos have. That's crazy. Chico says, if we meet IRL race outside of the stadium, I have every confidence that you would absolutely beat me in a foot race. I'm not a fast individual. I have been. When I was young, I was decently fast. For a period, but no. Challenge inconclusive. Great. The only thing that could make this more interesting. Wait, I don't have a thing for inconclusive? I just have successful and unsuccessful. Well, okay. I thought I had an animation for challenge inconclusive. There we go. I think that has come up before, and I was like, oh yeah, I'll make an animation, and then I just didn't. Can I express a grievance? I'm going to express a grievance here, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to express a grievance. So, I sometimes use the Fox stats that they show. Because they have different stats to NRL.com. Sea Eagles color on this pie chart, I can 100% understand. Since when did we have the Canberra Dolphins playing, though? What? What we doing? When have the Dolphins colors ever been that? In what universe has that been a thing? You've got the color right up above. What are we doing? It's not good enough, Braith. And we got a forward pass there from the Dolphins. Who cares? Not me. Definitely not me. It's not like I'm, actually streaming this or anything. No one cares. I think I might have broken something. No, we're good. Sorry. My bad. Looked like I kind of broke something in the background and I had to change the scene that we were on to make sure that it was still working. All right. 22-0. Great game. Brilliant game. One of the games of rugby league that's ever been played. Oh my god, they've dropped the ball. Just end me now, please. Or at least end the game. Fox AI making Dolphins green for no reason. You know what? I like making things green, typically, but... Nah. Demus says, I really hope Hughes plays at the World Cup. Same. Honestly, if he doesn't, like... If he doesn't, who does? Am I forgetting people? You would have had Brown and Hughes normally. And with no Brown and Hughes, no Brown, definitely. If also no Hughes, Nikorima and... Who? I really don't know. Anyway, played here in the hands of Flegler. Katoa hitting it up now. 2 minutes left on the fourth. They might be able to get 1-1 to light up the scoreline even further. Towards this back into the season 4 and against does matter a lot. Maybe CHT could jump ship. Maybe. But, like, already we're down to Chanel Harris Tavino. Respect to him. But, like, it would be a notably smaller name than the rest of the players you'd be getting in that New Zealand squad. No more Sean Johnson. Nikorima out to find Bostock. Has Cobbo as an option. He's just lost that, unfortunately. It's been picked up. It's going to ground it. We're going to go upstairs, are we? Yeah, we're going to go upstairs and look. You're so sarcastic, am I? Sometimes I am. Lily says, if we introduce a 20th team, who would they be, or where would they be from, and what colours? South Island of New Zealand, colours, well, it kind of depends what bid they go with, right? But yeah, it's just a drop ball from Bostock. I'm sorry, I'm refusing to believe that there's not more New Zealand halves. I'm looking at the ladder now and thinking of each team's halves. Okay. Roosters, no. Panthers, no. Warriors. Is Tamaide Martin a Kiwi eligible player? I think he is. But even then, I would have thought they'd be able to get a better name. Hines and Trindle, no. Katoa and Nikorima, well, I was got Nikorima already there. Knights would be, well, Brown normally. Sandon Smith and Fletcher Sharp, no. Rabbitohs, no. Cowboys, no. Bulldogs, no. Sea Eagles, no. Storm, Hughes, but we're under the assumption of no Hughes. Raiders, no. Eels, no. Tigers, no. Titans, no. Broncos, also no. And Dragons, no. There's no one. Yeah, Kieran Foran obviously also retired. So, it would be Martin and Cody. That's, genuinely given Hughes' track record, yes, it is a World Cup, sure. But that's almost likely. That's kind of crazy. Tackle there is Tommy Gilbert. If they're named the Orcas, their colours should be black and white. I agree. With a little, like, glint of teal. I think the NRL needs some teal in it. Derek says, actually, I play Keedy at fullback and play Nikorima and Ponga in the halves. It might be worth doing. Ethan Strange actually eligible for all 3 Tier 1 countries. Well, we did scrap the tier system, but yes, I know what you mean. Yeah, I thought about that. But I think he's just Australian. I'm not a big fan, I've got to say, of the whole Australians with English heritage starting to play for England. I don't think that's a good thing. I'd rather have England be less competitive but have domestic players. We have the luxury of having a competition over there. Katoa's through here. Fraz is a pass out to find Cobbo. They're still going for this on the last. Cobbo will just lose the ball in Cobbo style. And it ends 22-0. Wow, well, thank you for sitting through that. Tell you what, took some rugby league willpower from myself, but we got it done. Dreadful. Absolutely dreadful. But Manly, their season finishes with an absolute proverbial rugby league whimper. You got to say, looking at that scoreline, happy from a Dolphins perspective. Fundamentally got the job done. They will enter the top 4 on the live ladder. Sharks obviously yet to play. But boosting their points difference by 22 as well is nice. It's very nice. They've got to chase down Cronulla. They're on 98. Well, they'll now be on 120. Sharks will be on 170. Obviously having Canberra to play Cronulla, which is not a gimme by any stretch of the imagination. So Dolphins just doing what they needed to do. When did we scrap the tier system? Started this year, I think. Do you think NRL should bring back the South Australia Rams? Wouldn't be completely against the idea, but I think that there's other fronts to talk about. I've actually been talking to a few people from Adelaide recently and asking them their opinions on things, and they generally think that it's a tricky situation because the foundations of rugby league in South Australia aren't going very good. But it's like, if you introduce an elite NRL team over the top of that, will the excellence trickle down, or will the NRL team collapse under the unstable foundations? Tricky one. Anyway, I'm going to play out the Dolphins song. We've got kickoff in about 8 minutes. Going to take the chance to refill my bottle. On YouTube, stay where you are. You'll be automatically redirected to the next stream. Twitch, the stream won't change. So, see you guys in a sec.